So I'm from Burma. I'm an international student. I came here 2016 July or August, like for fall semester,
Mm-hmm.
and I only went back once. All these 4 or 5 years. I think it's already 5 years. It's 2021. So and I finished all my architecture classes and I'm ready to transfer. I got accepted into Cal Baptist, Cal Poly Pomona,
Mm-hmm.
New School. Well, I only applied to those three
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to also get a scholarship because
Mm-hmm.
international students we have to pay a lot
Mm-hmm.
and and with my country what my country is going on, I'm not sure if you heard it.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a how do you put it? It's not civil war, but it's
Mm-hmm.
almost civil war because there's a military coup going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I
my
hear
parents are
that.
having a very difficult financial crisis in a difficult position to send me money.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only apply to colleges or universities that will help me get more benefits without paying a lot of tuition fees. So I only applied for three universities, and then they accepted all of them accepted me. And now I'm choosing between Cal Poly Pomona and Cal
Mm-hmm.
Baptist.
Got you.
Yeah.
How about Sci Art? Did you consider Sci
Oh,
as well?
well, I was going to do PsyArc, but PsyArc's really expensive.
Really? Oh wow. I
Yeah.
do not know how much for compare with different school. Can you give me some ideas how much for different school right now?
I don't really remember the ballpark of PsyArc, like how much it is.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I didn't choose PsyArc was like since a long time ago. I checked it, I compared the tuition fees, and PsyArc is really expensive. And
Mm,
there are a few of my friends that they're going there, and they told me that PsyArc expect you to like use the most expensive material for the projects and stuff. So,
mhm,
and I'm in a position where I cannot afford a lot of expensive things.
mhm.
I'm just trying to learn and get my education degree, not to spend a lot of money.
Got you.
I'm trying to be considerate for my family too. I have two younger
Mhm,
siblings, one sister and one brother, so I also have to think about them.
mhm.
So I chose the other three school. For Cal Poly Pomona, I'm not really so sure yet, but I went into their website and I browsed through it, and I think their tuition fees is about around $35,000 per year. So it's like $15,000 per semester, and I can't afford like that much. But even that I cannot afford it. Like I'll have to think about ways how to pay for the tuition fees, and I hope that Cal Poly Pomona can help me. And as for the Cal Baptist, I got a scholarship of $9,000, and they're planning to give me more scholarships and financial aid. Yeah, since I'm in a very difficult position. So it's a very good school. Cal Baptist, I'm sure that people it's not very well known. People don't really know much about Cal Baptist since it was accredited, I think, starting 2018, and Cal Poly Pomona has been established since so long ago. So people don't really know about Cal Baptist, and I'm pretty sure it's a really good university. I even went to where Cal Baptist is. It's kind of far from where I'm staying at. It's like an hour away, but they're very friendly. They're there to help you in any possible way they can. And as for the new school, it's in San Diego. It's pretty far. It's like 2 3 hours away with driving, and it's in the middle of downtown. Their tuition fees is similar to Cal Baptist. Since it's a private school, it's still expensive, like $40,000 per year. Um, and they also give me $10,000, yeah, $10,000 scholarship. But compared to Cal Baptist and New School, the reason I chose Cal Baptist is because they're still willing to help me with more money. Whereas New School, they said after getting $10,000 scholarship, that's the maximum that they could give me. And if I go to San Diego, like to new school, I would have to live there at an apartment. And I also looked through the apartment. So $1,000 per month is the minimum to live there. So at the $1,000 a month per like 1 year would be $12,000. So the scholarship I getting is not even gonna cover my living fee, and that's only for the apartment, not my personal and other miscellaneous fees. So that's why I chose Cal Baptist.
Got you. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that the actual spend is very tough, because when I remember when I was in SIRE, so that all the 3D printing, good materials, it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so yeah, I have two questions follow. So first is why you selected architecture as the major you want to
Oh, why I
moving
started
forward. Yeah.
architecture?
The second will be what, as an international student, when you first started your education's here. So what is the challenge you are facing when you first started?
Let me confirm one thing. So you want to know how why I started started learning architecture, right?
Correct.
Okay. So since I was really young, I really loved drawing. Just anything. I would draw anything, human, plants, animals. And but the one thing that I didn't notice is that I also draw floor plants. Because we live in a house, right? But our family is five, and at that time, there my family and also there are five servants. So there are like 10 people at a house. So for me, I was like, okay, how do I make it better? Like, so I would always draw floor plans, a house, elevations and how I want to change my house. But I didn't really notice and realize that I'm into architecture at first. So, like, I thought I would be interested in fashion design because, fashion design always drawing dresses, and or I thought I wouldn't be an artist or like a someone who draws comics. That's what I thought. But when I came here, what and like I, so as an international student, I'm sure you would understand. When you came here, you really don't know what classes to take. You're not really familiar with the system, the school system, how it works. So at first, I was only gonna take English and math to just to start it off, but then the requirement is I have to take 12 units to be a full-time student, and that's the requirement. So I didn't know what to take. So I looked through all the art related classes, and then there's this one class called freehand drawing. So I thought, okay, that would be like a basic drawing type of thing. I didn't know that it was part of architecture class. So Mr. Navarro was teaching that class. Mr. Navarro is my first professor. So he was teaching that, and then he would teach how to draw buildings, and that's when I realized that, oh, I'm more interested in drawing the building structures more than drawing dresses and like just to draw anything like painting or anything. I enjoy it more when I'm drawing uh you know the building structures and architecture. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. So I started taking architecture classes, and that's when I fell in love with architecture. I'm not saying that I'm a best student, but I try my best. I had to try harder since I'm an international student compared to citizens and residents here. Like there's a cultural shifting. People would I don't know about how your country is, but in my country we have to be very polite to the elderly. It's like you don't like talk back or anything. And even when you're talking to your peers, you have to be very polite type of thing. So when I came here, um, some people they try to talk down on me or something like that, but I didn't know like how to react back to that. So but like most of my peers and my professors, they're really good at training me into somebody to be more confident, because before I wasn't confident. I was raised not to raise my voice and be polite and not talk back. So they trained me like to be a more confident and better person. That's when I fall in love with architecture more than before. And I started also taking uh Mr. K's class. It's the I forgot, like drafting class where you have to actually start building stuff and then understand the foundation, the system, the materials, and how to draw sections and elevations and stuff. And that's when I realized that okay, this is what I really want to learn. This is what I want, you know. So and it's challenging. It's very challenging because there are people who are very smart and better people than me. So it's not like compete in a bad way, but it's in a good way. Like I compared with myself with those people who are very smart and be like, okay, I need to improve my side, and also compare myself with my past self. So like, okay, before I only know this much. Okay, so what can I learn more to be like a better student or become a better architect in the future? So yeah.
Got you. So the good thing is for the architecture is very fair. So it's more like the 90% how you contribute your time
Hmm.
to practice and practice more. The
Hmm.
10% will be the talent.
Yeah.
So don't upset, when someone just look down with you because they do not know what is your potential, number one. So, and then also I believe that when you go through your education, you learn more from different people,
Mhm.
and then it's more build up your competence too. And
Mhm.
then also for the culture in the United States, it's very different, right? You mentioned that you are more polite before, and then
Yeah.
you trying to you're just doing everything as your culture, but
Mhm.
here is everyone just trying to express themselves,
Yeah.
and then they're not necessary to care your feeling. So this is quite different before. And also I remember for my undergrad, for my final projects, so we have, it's a group project. We design a house and build it. So everyone is really fighting to get their opinion
Yeah.
to get, this is the design I really, really want to do. So they're not really as a considered as a teamwork. So that's really, really tricky. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
working in this team, but everyone trying to fight for something.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
So yeah, it seems like to change your communication style, and then financial burden is kind of as the first beginning you have to deal with in the beginning.
Yeah. Financial burden is very it's the most challenging part. Because people here they're like, okay, I'll just take this class or take that class. And they don't really give like how do I say this? They don't really think much about what classes they want to take or they're gonna take. Even if it's a 3 units class, they're gonna be like, oh, whatever, I'll just take it. Whereas I'm here, I am like thinking, okay, because I we have to pay $300 per unit, so like 12 units is already like a lot. Like $36,000. No, no, 3,600. And I also have to include like other fees that the school collects. So whereas I'm here like freaking out over how many units like I can take, and they're like, oh, let's just take it. And then I have to think, okay, should I take this class? Do I really need it? If I really need it, can I take it next semester because of my financial issues? So like those are the, not only am I stressed about designing and for the classes, I'm also stressed about the money issue. So that's the most challenging part for me.
Yeah, hopefully when you transfer to the university. So right now I'm working with USC right now.
Hmm.
So my school offer work study for international student.
Oh,
Hopefully when you get to the university, you have some opportunity to relieve your burden.
yeah.
Material is so expensive, computer is so
Oh my
expensive.
God.
Yeah. I when I was student, I the computer is one of the big expense for me beside tuition. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
tell me about as an international student. So beside the how you try to get into the mainstream American culture, because I think that when you selected to have your educations here, you do have some idea why you learn here, and then also, what is your future plan after you graduated?
Um, can you repeat that again? It got cut off and I didn't really
Oh,
understand.
sorry. Yeah. So, excuse me. So, may I know why you want to study in the United States? And then second is how you can get into the mainstream American culture. The last question is what you're trying to do after you graduated.
The reason why I chose America, it's well, it's because ELAC, the mascot, is husky, and I love dogs. So that's well, people hear that and they think it's a stupid like idea, and I was like, well, I love dogs. What can I say? And that's the only reason I chose ELAC because of its mascot. I didn't really know anything about architecture at that time. Um, at first I was gonna go study at Australia or England because before I got here, my pronunciation, my accent is of like like very heavy English accent, and people often make fun of me. Like I still even I still have that like accent still left in some of the words I say, but they people here make fun of me for having an English accent. So I tried to adjust. I had to adjust it for like all these 5 years. I have to practice every day looking at the mirror and be like, okay, talk like American, not like English. So that's the one thing. Um, I was gonna study at Australia and England, but I came here because of the mascot, but also because a few of my family members are here. So if I stay and my family friends here are here too. So if I live with them, I would have like less tuition fee. I mean, less financial problem to think about. So I chose America. And as for the um why I want to study here, like that's the only reason and how I got here. What was this? What was that other question? Sorry.
Oh, how you get into the mainstream American culture?
Um, I don't really know. I just live here and I'm with my friends. So and I'm also a type of person where if I'm from somewhere, I'm not gonna get adjusted or like I'm gonna if I'm Asian, I'm gonna be Asian. I'm not the type of person. I see everyone as people, so I just like communicate with them. And since I'm here, I'm more closer to the American culture, so I'm adjusting and adapted to it. So I don't really have any thoughts for that one.
That's
I'm just
fine.
by my yeah,
That's fine.
I'm just being by myself. Like I'm me. That's it.
That's good. So actually, this is more like American culture beyond be yourself, right?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
So, and then I know that in maybe in your country you have to be certain type. So this is more like the stereotype you have to follow, right? But in America,
yeah, yeah.
in the United States, you have a lot of freedoms to do whatever you like. So express
Oh
yourself
yes.
and explore what you can do. This is one thing is attracted me to stay here and then
Mm.
keep moving forward. So how about your future? So after you graduate, what you want to
Uh,
do?
so after I graduate, I want to become like, of course, a licensed architect and maybe work at a firm or like a small firm or a big firm. If I only can get into a small firm, maybe probably I'll stay there and work for a few years, and then maybe I'll move to a bigger firm. And after I learned a lot and confident and like have enough confidence, then maybe I'm thinking of having my own firm and then work by myself.
Wow, that's great. So
Thank you.
yeah,
I also want to help my country though. I also
mm,
want to help my country because Myanmar is still a developing country with not a lot of great architecture except for the like old ancient structures that people are still going to like view them. But I want to have also like attractions or a better building structures that so that Burmese people can be proud to have like an architect like for the country that is thinking like actually thinking about the country. So yeah.
Sounds great. So may I ask you, let's say when there's some program or support for the international student, what particularly you're looking for?
So since you're an international student yourself too, I'm sure you already know it's really hard for international students to get a job or an internship. It's really hard. I interned at Nidell Architects for 3 months, and even for that, it's really hard to get because I have to take certain classes at university just to be able to work. If not, then I'm not permitted to work. And if they catch me working, then they're gonna deport me back to my country. So there's a lot of hardships. So yeah, I hope there would be a program where international students can, like, if they want a job, they can go find it, and then if they got accepted, they can just go to that program and be like, okay, I got a job, like, can I get a permission? And they be like, okay, we'll issue you the permission or issue you whatever, like, the documents right away so that you can work. So it would be better to have that type of program.
I see. Yeah. So that's kind of tough, to get a proper way to work as and
Yeah.
then practice architecture, because also you will get experience, right?
Yeah.
Because when you go to work, you have to get some kind of real experience, not just
Yeah.
the knowledge from your school. Feel architecture student, and then I found that, oh, I want to ask for what they're doing, but also I want to share what I did before. I'm also an ELAC alumni, right? So
Mhm.
we have the
Yeah,
same starting point.
that's true. It's really interesting. I was looking forward to seeing more. It's
Mhm.
really, really impressive.
So, and then also, because my program, we're trying to create a social impacts, right? And then
Mhm.
also I trying to see, let's say this is the problems here. So every international student, they struggle with opportunities,
Mhm.
funding.
Mhm.
So what can we change, or we can make impact to everyone. So, and then I came up with ideas so that I interviewed the international student, help them to share the work, and then publish to maybe YouTube, whatever channels. They can use it to whatever they want. And also, I'm thinking that I want to ask you one of the idea. Maybe you tell me is it working. So because you get as an international student, you all suffer with funding, right, for the tuitions. Let's say when I create a platform like the GoFundMe. So let's say I'm going to showcase your work here and then ask for people to fund some kind of portion. For example, you told me that you're looking for rhino. So let's say I put a platform here, you share what you're trying to do, what is the work I can do, to see where someone can fund you, to come up with funding to
Mhm.
support you to get to your rhino. So
Mhm.
what do you think about this idea?
That's really a good idea. That's a really good idea. Like, you show your work, but the only problem that I have a trust issue. Before I don't. I mean, I do have trust issues like since way before, but not regarding architecture models or anything. It's just that I talked with one of my friends from Burma. Like, he's taking architecture classes in Burma, and I came here, and I told him that, okay, I want to have my own page where I show all my projects and showcases as my, this is what I've done as architecture student. Just, it's a page for my architecture projects. But then he was like, yeah, if you do that, then there are actual architects who can look through it and steal your design. Not like literally steal your design. They're gonna look at it and they're like, oh, I like this, and they're gonna make it better, and then they're gonna profit, selling them back. Whereas I'm only a student and I'm just trying to show people what I did, and I don't get money. So he told me not to have a page, and I was like, oh shoot, I was thinking of having my own page, my architecture page, and he was like, yeah, don't do that. So my trust issue like went from here to here with architecture. That's the only
So
thing.
it's not only architecture I can help you. So it's everything. So let's say right now I have IT background. I'm more have a combined IT and architectures together right now.
Mhm.
So some of the time I work with very talented programmer. So, and then they need to showcase their work too. So, and then also facing the same issues, right? So your portfolio, you have to show to someone to see it, right? But you cannot
That
control.
is true. That
Yeah.
is
So, but
I like the idea of
I
what you
like your
said.
idea too. Yeah, let me try to work on this as a final proposal. So maybe, and then well, if you don't mind, I can I show you the page already, right? I done with Olu, so that maybe you can, if you don't mind, you select a couple works and then I put it here. So maybe you can use it in the future. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, for
So I
sure.
sent you the pictures of my projects to you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, and then I can send you the link I done with her, and then I still working on editing because for me also it's a new experience. I try to learn something like the video editing. I'm bad on writing, so I still trying to improve myself. Yeah.
That's
So I think that, yeah, thank you for your time. So before we
thank
close
you
this
for your
conversations,
time.
and then I want to ask you a
Mhm.
couple of things. So what is your
Okay.
favorite tradition in ELAC?
Favorite tradition. Well, as an architecture student, you already know, like architecture students, they don't really get to associate with other people because they're already like they're already using maximum time that they have for architecture, so they don't get to like really go. I don't know about you. For me, I put all my effort, my body and my soul into architecture. I don't really know anyone else aside from architecture department. um but for architecture department, what I really like is I love everything about our department. The best thing is when we have Thanksgiving potluck. It's the fun. You get to meet almost everyone from the department. You get to talk and you get to eat a lot of food. Um, and we also have these little events. I didn't get to join any of them because I was so busy, but there are also little events that our architecture club like does, and they bring in a lot of good events, and we do that. But I don't get to participate much. But yeah, I love everything about ELAC, architecture department.
Yeah, actually, I feel bad when I was an architecture student. I didn't have much time to hang out with other students. So, and
Oh
then
yes.
also it's very competitive. But I learned because of maybe I'm an international student too. I have to adjust myself to learn to catch up what I do not have when this time.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, when I graduate for a few years now, so I try to look back so to see, hey, how I can contribute to the architecture community. So I found a way to see that international student is more aligned with my background. So that's why I started this project to interview the international student to try to come up some ideas what will be beneficial for all international student. So great. How about you? We are architect, right? So what is who? Give me three architect you likes the most.
Oh, well, I love Zaha Hadid for sure. Her designs are like beyond. And of course, I really like Frank Gehry. Well, those are very well known to architecture, world. So Frank Gehry, Frank Lloyd Wright, and Zaha Hadid. Those are my three favorite people. Like I love all of their designs. Well, Zaha Hadid top one. Zaha Hadid is like beyond, and then Frank Gehry and Frank Lloyd Wright. Frank Lloyd Wright because of his uh like his style, like how do I say that? They're mixed with nature, that type of thing. So that's why. Yeah, I love those three a lot.
Great. Yeah, I like Zaha Hadid. I like Van Gary, and also I
Yeah.
like Big Architect. Yeah. So this they're the group. So
Oh. Mm-mm.
yeah.
I
So
I
I,
see.
I
I
kind
see.
of I see more like the reason why I like Big Architect because they more have the connection with the human to use the space. They create a building is fun and also have a lot of elements to engage the people using the building.
That's
That's actually very impressive. I like Van Gary, so he's a visionary, right? So and then something you may learn in the future, he invested Gary technology to to do R&D to help him to design very interesting geometry. Zaha Hadid also did the same thing. So he worked with Patrick Schumacher to invest. I'm not sure they're the first one. I cannot figure it out,
Mhm.
but they really spent a lot of energy to do parametric design. So that's why you see a
Mhm.
lot of curving geometry, and then they can break it down to a
Mhm.
buildable solutions. And then I was so
Mhm.
lucky in SciArt, I have two TA that teaching assistants. They work with Zaha Hadid before. So I saw that how they thinking, how they target the problems. It's so amazing. Yeah.
Wow, I can
So
imagine. It
so
was I got so sad when I learned that Zaha Hadid died right after I arrived in US. And I was like, Zaha Hadid died? I was like, what the hell?
I
Like
know, I know. Uh, how many Zaha Hadid building I experienced it before. Yeah, I came from Hong Kong, right? So Zaha Hadid have one project in Hong Kong as a poly university. So
oh,
this is also they use it for like teaching
mm,
creative programs. So I was able to actually I go to the building and then I see how the it's this very touching moment for me.
I know. I was like so sad. I was like,
I
why?
know,
Why? Just why?
I know. So
God
she
took her
she she was
early.
so young, and then this is a big loss for.
I know. This is just like such a
Wow. So, uh, Tania, so thank you so much for your time. This is a really great conversations. And then I would
thank
like to ask you, can do me a favor. So I was going to send you the web page I created for Olu so that you can take a look. And then you can send me a couple your introductions and then work
you.
and we'll put it together. And also I will do a video editing. So this is a little bit long. So I think that I may break
I
to
know. Talk a
two
lot of other stuff.
conversations. So and also with the people really want to contact you, what is the best way they can contact you?
They can come talk to me on Instagram for sure.